So in order to save my fish, I actually went back online and did some more research from some fish keepers, and I guess one of the fish keepers actually has a fish shop, and just kind of went through a bunch of videos. And this is what I came up with. I immediately thought I should get the water out of the tank and change it, put the fish back in and acclimate them, because of the stuff that I was using just appeared to be too harsh, just by the way they were swimming around and stuff. And I didn't see a big difference a couple days later. So I did the water change, and I thought I'm going to get something different because the fungus has to be treated. Okay, so I went online and I started looking for something I could get at Walmart maybe, or like at Petco, PetSmart, whatever. So this is what I found at Walmart, and it's tablets. It was the same exact brand, but it was the tablets that include fungus, and it also treats other things within the tank if there's anything there. So it includes fungus. So I did get the fungus treatment, and it was the same exact brand, except for in the tablets there were other added benefits. So it was kind of a all-in-one thing. So I did purchase that same brand, same idea, tablets, and I read the directions and followed the directions on the back. And then also they say you could add aquarium salt to your tank, and you got to follow the direction on the back excuse me, and the measurements for your size of aquarium. So that's what I did. And I was hoping I could save my fish, the ones that were actually, you know, getting more sick and or infected by the disease and or fungus. This is Fauci and Newsom, named after Governor Newsom and Dr. Fauci, the disease specialist. Because I actually got them during the pandemic, and those names just stood out right away for some reason. I don't know why. I just thought it was cute. So this is Fauci and Newsom. They're doing okay. And I was just doing a quick update on the tank as far as the ick and stuff. And yeah, so it ended up being fungus. My tank has been through it. And I'll show you the products that I actually used, but it's clearing up right now. I did let it set for a while. That's why it's been a while since I've done a video, because I was making sure everything was okay and did my water changes, and I wanted to make sure I didn't give some incorrect information as far as the products that I decided to use. Okay, this is my medicine cabinet. I actually live in a 1-bedroom small apartment, so you know, when it comes to space, you save it and store stuff wherever you can, you know. And this makes sense because my fish tank's in my bedroom area, and this just works for me. So I keep all my products in here as far as for my fish tank, and it's just really convenient. And here is the Super Ick Cure. This actually worked, and I did notice the white spots disappeared, but the molly that I got actually had fungus also. And I did try this, and it seemed like it worked at first, but then I actually moved on to this right here. This is the Fish Aid, which I got a lot of information offline. I read about it and did some research, and sometimes people have success with it as far as treating certain illnesses. And I didn't just randomly buy it off Amazon. I really did research. I looked at YouTube videos of other people that used it and had success, so I did try that. And I also use this water conditioner, but that has nothing to do with my actual problem in the tank, which that's what I'm talking about. So I'll get into that maybe in a different video. Anyways, and I think I actually shared some stuff about that in my other video. But anyways, this fish shade, I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute here. But this actually did seem to remove some of the spots, but it didn't cure the fish all the way as far as the molly. Okay, and this always stays right at 70 or maybe like 73 degrees, and that's perfect. Also, I want to say, unfortunately, my tetras didn't make it. My Ember tetras all passed away, and a few of them did have the white spots. The molly ended up having like fluffy mold and or fungus on him. Okay, so one other thing. This is a really good product. The white spots that were actually real white spots on the molly, they disappeared. The fungus on the side of the molly's jaw and eye is what did not go away. And this is the treatment that I feel was too harsh for my fish, because unfortunately the ember tetras did pass away along with the shrimp. And this, when I started using this, I didn't see a big difference, and I did a water change probably 2 days after, because I started noticing my fish were sluggish, kind of not swimming around as much, and my ember tetras actually had spots on them, like they appeared to be ick. But the molly had fungus, definitely. It was like puffy, cottony looking stuff hanging off of its face and or cheek area. Okay, so I did go online and I started looking for some type of fungus treatment that may not be too harsh, and I found something that I could just pick up at Walmart. And I went to Walmart and they had it in stock, but it wasn't this actual one. It was the same exact brand and it was tablets, but it was the fungus clear including other things. So it was like a all-in-one treatment for your tank including fungus, and it was the same brand. You drop 2 tablets in, just read the directions on the back, and you repeat it for a few days. And yeah, so that's what I got. And then also, by doing research with other fish keepers, Aquarium Salt is a good thing to add to your tank. You gotta do the measurements in the back for your size of tank. So I picked this up at Walmart too. They have a good little section actually for aquarium stuff. So I picked this up and that's what I put in my tank. And I also put these. But unfortunately, with the water changes and the stress and stuff like that, of course your fish are going to get stressed out and just acclimating them. And I tried my hardest. I'd done everything according to the research that I did and what I was advised. And I did everything I could do. And there's one thing that I did learn, a big lesson learned. No matter where you purchase your fish, if you already have a tank and you have fish within your tank, you want to take your new fish and, you know, quarantine them in a different tank and or jar any way you can, where they could be, you know, safe as far as the environment and the right heating and air supply and stuff like that. Quarantine them for at least 48 hours. Or maybe even longer, just to make sure they're safe, disease-free, and are ready to be put in your tank with your other fish, because you want to keep your other fish safe. So the big mistake that I made was, you know, it was a nice, I'm not going to knock anywhere where I got my fish, but the molly was the one that started the whole entire infection. So I feel the fish keeper, or maybe it was not the fish keeper, maybe it was somebody that just randomly helped me. They gave me sick fish, basically. And they told me that they would replace them to bring them in. And I did get my money back. But unfortunately, I'm not going to get my fish back. And I decided to keep one molly because it looked like it was okay. And it was already in the tank. So the one that died, I did get my refund. But the other one didn't show infection until later on. And then my tetras had little white spots on them after the treatment. So that was after the first treatment of the stuff that wasn't working for me, which I showed in the beginning. That was the amoxicillin, not the ick treatment, but the pills and or capsules. Well, they look like a little pill, but they're a capsule and you just crack them open. But anyways, with that being said and done, I should have just followed my gut feeling in the first place and I wouldn't have got myself in this mess. But unfortunately, I wasn't familiar with any type of disease in the tank because I've never experienced this. And I never had mollies in my life. And I do know some of them are spotted. So at first I just thought they were spotted. But the moment I heard her say, I want to get you a healthy looking one, I should have said, never mind, I don't want the fish. But I didn't think about it, you know. I thought this is, you know, the person working in the area. They must know what they're doing. So anyways, with that being said and done, lesson learned. The one thing you always want to do is make sure when you're adding fish to your tank, you quarantine them in a separate tank and or jar or wherever they could be safe and comfortable for about 48 hours to maybe even longer, just to make sure. Just be cautious, because it doesn't matter if, you know, it's a nice looking place or you go there all the time. The thing is they get their fish shipped to them. So sometimes, you know, the fish store and or pet store or fish keeper, they may not be aware of the fact that they have a fish that is infected with something. And it's not really their fault, you know. So they should quarantine their fish too. I think they do. I don't know how that goes. I don't work in that type of store. And I'm not a professional. I'm just giving you my experience. And yeah, so the tank is finally clear. I did the last water change. Fauci and Newson are looking good. And I wanted to wait maybe a few weeks because it's been treated and, you know, I'm getting the tank back going. They're looking good. It's already been about like a week and a half or maybe 2 after the treatment. And Fauci and Newson are fine. So I just want to make sure everything's good before I add some fish. So I will be adding some fish. And I really like the Ember Tetras. I'm so disappointed that I lost them. I tried my hardest. And I'm probably going to get maybe a few of those. If not, I'm going to get maybe like 3. I could only probably put in a 10-gallon tank 3 tiger barbs maybe. Or something like a schooling fish, but something that's not going to outgrow this tank, because I'm going to keep it like nano fish, I guess you would say, if that's what they call them, or smaller fish that stay small for this aquarium. But I do want something bigger than the Ember Tetras. They're schooling fish. I do love them, but I don't know if they would pair well with the tiger barbs. And I was kind of eyeballing the tiger barbs. Yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, so the shrimp, they actually didn't survive either. And I think the treatment was too harsh for them because they're kind of fragile. And it's an experience. And I've learned a lot from it. So the one thing I'm going to do when I do get new fish, I'm going to quarantine them in my other 5-gallon tank for up to maybe 3 days. And make sure everything's safe for Fauci and Newson. Yeah, so I did change it up a bit. I have this area in the back, which is open. And I want to put maybe a bigger shell just so it covers the air tube line. But I did add the bubbles on each side. There's one on that side, and there's one on that side. And I try to balance it out as much as possible. And I did take some of the plants out and put this on the side instead of the middle. And I don't know if I actually want to get like maybe a bigger shell to put right here or a piece of driftwood. So that's what I was kind of debating on. Driftwood or maybe like a bigger shell. I want it to look kind of earthy and just, you know, nice. And also the rocks are just randomly dropped because the catfish actually like to bottom feed and they just like to suck on things. And I felt this type of gravel and or sand, whatever you want to call it, substrate. Okay, I don't know the proper lingo. I'm not like a professional fish tank person here, but anyways, I mean fish keeper, sorry about that. But the reason why I have these rocks, it's just surface for the catfish to actually suck on. I know it might not look perfect and they look like rocks are just dropped everywhere, but this isn't just for, you know, visually enjoying it. It's for them to you know, have a environment that they can, you know, enjoy their little fish life, you know. They need stuff to suck on. They need surface. They can't just suck on this stuff all day. They'll have little gravel up in their catfish mouth. No, I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I'm not a professional, but what I thought was, you know, I'm going to make it comfortable for them to live in. Okay, yeah, so anyways, that was my experience and lesson learned, you know. Just because somewhere looks really nice and the tanks are clean and, you know, even if you go there all the time, it doesn't matter, because most of the time a store and or pet store or fish keeper is not going to sell you a sick fish. So they may not be aware themselves that it's actually infected, because they don't, you know, they may not know sometimes. And or if somebody's new in the store or just working there and they don't work in that area and they're like, oh, I'll help you, and they grab you a fish, you just never know, and it's nobody's fault, you know. You got to learn on your own. It's just, you know, it is what it is. So one thing I did learn is, no matter how nice a place looks, quarantine your fish for at least 48 hours, even longer, and keep your fish within your tank that you already have safe. And that's what I learned from this experience. So that's what I'll be doing next time. So when I do get my new fish, and I'm going to wait at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and make sure, you know, the tank is settled and everything's good, I will quarantine them in my 5-gallon. Probably longer than 48 hours, just to keep it extra safe and keep it on the safe side. So yeah. So yes, I made a mistake, and that's what I didn't do, which I'm going to do next time. So it's a learning experience. And I'll never get mollies again. They're bad luck for me. So I never should have got mollies anyways. I've never cared for them. And I'm not going to knock mollies. Get them if you love them. They are really inexpensive, and they come in several different colors. But there is one thing that I don't know if a lot of people know. Certain fish make more waste than others. And mollies, I found out really quick, they actually, you know, they produce a lot of feces at the bottom of the tank, and that's not good. That's not good for your fish, and it's not good for the water. So if you ever see a molly with a long string hanging from it, a long brown looking string, that's their poop basically, and they produce a lot of it. And I don't know where it all comes from, because I feed my fish just the same, but they do produce a lot of waste, and you don't want that in the tank either for your fish, because it does, you know, it does make it to where you have an environment that's not so healthy for your fish sooner. So anyways, Fauci and Newsom just cleaned that little tank, and they're the cutest little thing ever, huh? He's like, I hate that molly. Never get mollies again, Shelly. We almost died. I'm just messing around. Okay, I'm going to go drink the rest of my coffee. I don't even know how this is coming out, but I don't really care. I'm going to upload it anyways, because I'm just doing an upload and telling you about my experience and doing an update, because I already have a fish tank video up there, and this actually has turned into a hobby. So it was a family project with my daughter, and I just wanted to, you know, have a nice little experience with her, putting something together, and it was just a family little project. And I already had everything, and I just updated it into a 10-gallon as far as the fish that I had, and just kind of try to make it more mature looking, which I'm still working on that. I'm going to get the driftwood once again, or a bigger shelfer behind there. And later on, I may just get the wand, the bubble wand that just fills up the whole back, so the whole back is bubbles. I'm not sure. But this is how it is for now. And I do want to add a piece right here, which I'm trying to decide what I want it to be. I think natural looking driftwood of some sort would look pretty. I love you, little Newsom, and I love Fauci. But one other thing I got to share. I seen my dream fish. I seen my dream fish. And there is a fish and or fish that I want so bad. They never had them in my Petco, but I seen 2 of them the last time I went to go get fish food. And my dream tank. I'll share with you my dream tank and the fish later on. And maybe I'll take my camera in there and, you know, get a shot of them. And yeah, so my dream tank is probably going to be a 30-gallon tank with these 2 fish in it. And maybe in the future, you know, after I, you know, get settled with this and stuff like that, I'm not going to jump into anything at all, you know, too soon. But there is a type of fish that I want. I want at least 2 of them. And you're going to have to get a bigger tank for them. And you don't have to get no bigger than like a 30-gallon if you're just going to get 2. But next time I go, if they're still there, I'll get them on camera for you because they're beautiful and they're so peaceful. And they're a bit bigger. And yeah, so anyways, and they don't get that big though. So a 30-gallon would be perfect. And close your little fish ears. I love you. You're the prettiest little fish in the world. All right? That was a joke. I'm just messing around. So anyways, yeah, so I'll see you guys later and I'm really going to go now. And yeah.